I have a second generation Prius, that's 2004 to 2009, key fob, where the shells are very damaged. But that's okay because the shells can be bought cheaply on Amazon. The problem is the buttons. On this one, the buttons are clicky. On this one, the button is completely missing. This one does not click. I have the replacement buttons here, and hopefully they fit because I forgot to read the datasheet before I went ahead and ordered 12 of them. First, let's try to get the old buttons off. It is slightly taller. Hopefully that's fine. Another thing that makes this challenging is that I have never soldered buttons before. I have plenty of experience soldering other electrical components such as 0805 sized resistors, but never buttons, so transferring that knowledge over is going to be a little bit interesting. When I tested the key fob buttons, none of them worked. The multimeter was showing that there was continuity going through the button when there should not have been any. I thought it was because I had melted the internal structure of the button with how I was pushing it down when soldering. I assumed that I had made an error and took a second attempt at it. After replacing the buttons for a second time, I had the same result. This time, I'm confident that it is not the work that I had done, but the replacement buttons being the wrong ones. Turns out they are the wrong buttons. They are not only taller, but conduct in the opposite direction. I tried to work within this and rotate the buttons, but of course, when doing that, the pads no longer line up. So I had to use some jumper wire to bridge the gap. The process of adding the wire was tedious. It is the same size as a hair, around 0.1 millimeters in diameter, making it very hard to manipulate, and its enamel coating meant that I had to spend extra time with the iron to burn it off before the solder would stick. To make it even worse, the PCB kept on sliding around. Sure enough, after putting the buttons in the right direction, the lock and panic buttons worked. The only problem now is that the buttons don't fit into the shell. Instead of modifying the very delicate buttons, I decided to modify the case. The oval cap of the button is supposed to rest on the red cross of the casing, but after I rotated the button, the cap rests on the outer lip of the casing instead, resulting in the button being depressed all the time, and that extra height is preventing the board from fitting into the casing properly. It seemed like every way I tried to make it fit, it did not allow the PCB to fit any better. Given that the buttons I had are wrong, both electrically and physically, and given that I can't get the right buttons, and even if I do, I would need to do this all over again, I decided to cut my losses, remove all of my hard work, and accept the fact that those functions won't work, and of course holding on to the remaining buttons as spare parts. Even though the lock and panic buttons don't work, I still wanted to reassemble the key fob so that I can use the unlock button or insert the fob into the car to start the vehicle.